All right, let's jump right in. Premier League Matchday 20, the halfway point. Already. Crazy,
I
right?
know. Feels like the season just started.
It's been a whirlwind. Upsets, nail-biters, title contenders going head-to-head. You've got reports, analyses, even some fan reactions to unpack here, all
Yeah.
about this massive match day.
Huge implications, yeah. Every match matters at this point in the season.
Absolutely, from the title race to those relegation battles. Every point counts. So, let's see. We've got Manchester City taking on West Ham, Liverpool clashing with Manchester United, Chelsea trying to break their slump against Crystal Palace. Just a few of the big ones.
Oh, and we can't forget about those matches further down the table. The ones that might fly under the radar but tell a really interesting story about the season.
Like Tottenham's loss to Newcastle.
Exactly. Tottenham
Yeah.
losing to Newcastle, Everton struggling against Bournemouth. These matches show just how unpredictable this season is. It's not just about the big names anymore.
All right, well, let's start at the top then. Title race first. Man City, they just crushed West Ham, 4-1.
Dominant performance.
Holland, 2 more goals. The guy is just a goal machine. But it wasn't just him. The entire City squad played with this incredible efficiency.
Yeah, they took fewer shots than West Ham, but they made them count. That's what championship caliber teams do.
It's like they know exactly when to strike, how to exploit every weakness. And Foden, his goal, weaving through defenders like they weren't even there.
Pure magic, that goal.
West Ham did get that late consolation goal, but too little too late. City were in control the whole time.
Completely. They dictated the pace of the game. You could see their confidence, their control.
Okay, let's move on to another massive match, the one everyone was talking about. Liverpool versus Manchester United. Historic rivalry. Always delivers drama.
And it did not disappoint. This time, a 2-2 draw. Goals from both sides, back and forth the whole match. Must have been a roller coaster for the fans.
It really was. From the reports I read, the atmosphere was electric. Now, Salah, he did what he does best. Scored another goal for Liverpool.
Of course he did. But, looking at the match as a whole, I think the draw was probably a fair result.
I saw you had something in your notes about Liverpool's midfield. Something about them being a bit out of sync.
Yeah, they just seemed a bit disjointed. Not their usual dominant selves. They struggled to control the tempo, which isn't like them at all.
Which allowed Manchester United to really exploit those gaps.
Exactly. Their counterattacks were dangerous. Rashford's pace, in particular, caused all sorts of problems for Liverpool's defense.
And he finished that chance beautifully, too. To see Man U hold their own against Liverpool, especially at Anfield.
It's a statement. They might be finding their form under their new manager.
Let's see if they can keep it up. Now, Chelsea. They were hoping to break their winless streak against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
But another frustrating draw. 1-1 this time.
It's becoming a pattern for them, isn't it?
They dominated the first half, had all the possession, but just couldn't convert that into goals.
It's like they're missing that final piece of the puzzle. They move the ball well, get into good positions, but then hesitate in the final third.
Sancho did have that brilliant assist, setting up their goal. But one moment of brilliance isn't enough.
You need consistency. You need that killer instinct to really make a difference. And what about their defense? That late equalizer from Mateta for Crystal Palace exposed some real vulnerabilities.
They switched off for just a moment, and it cost them. Those little mistakes, those lapses in concentration, they can be the difference between winning and drawing.
Absolutely. Especially in a league as tight as this. All right, let's move away from the top of the table for a minute, because some really interesting things happen further down.
Like Tottenham losing to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tottenham at home, a team with top 4 aspirations, losing to Newcastle. It's a big deal. They had all the possession, but couldn't find a way through.
Newcastle's defense, they were like a brick wall. What did you make of that?
It was their tactical discipline that really impressed me. They were happy to let Tottenham have the ball, but they were so well organized, denying space, frustrating their opponents.
And then, boom, counterattack, Isak's goal, the winner. Took it brilliantly.
That's Newcastle this season. They defend deep, wait for their opportunity, then hit with speed and precision. And it's working for them. They're a real threat now.
Definitely one of the surprises of the season. And then we have Bournemouth beating Everton 1-0. Huge result for both teams, right at the bottom of the table, fighting to stay up.
Massive match. And what stood out to me was Everton's performance, or rather their lack of performance. They didn't even register a single shot on target.
You're kidding.
I'm serious. 0. It's like they've lost all their attacking spark. No ideas, no penetration. It's worrying for them. Really worrying.
It is. They used to be such a tough team to beat, but they seem to have lost their way. Now I know we have a few more matches to cover.
We do, some really interesting ones too. But let's maybe take a pause here. Digest what we've learned so far.
Yeah, good idea. I mean, this match day 20 has been a roller coaster.
Hasn't it? From dominant displays to shocking upsets, it's clear that this Premier League season is one of the most unpredictable we've seen in a long, long time.
And we're only at the halfway point. Imagine what the second half has in store for us.
Can't wait to find out. Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? This whole shift in the power dynamics. Teams like Newcastle, they're proving that anything is possible.
And those at the top can't afford to slip up. Every point matters. Speaking of hard-fought points, Aston Villa, they edged out Leicester City 2-1. You had this one marked in your notes. What caught your eye?
Now, Aston Villa's midfield, so impressive. They controlled the game, really shut down Leicester's passing lanes, forced them to play those long balls that Villa's defense just dealt with easily.
The reports I read highlighted Barkley and Bailey. Their goals, obviously crucial, but it was their work rate, that ability to win those midfield battles that really set them apart.
Exactly. Barkley, he was everywhere, breaking up Leicester's attacks, then launching Villa forward like he was the engine, you know? And then you've got Bailey, that pace and trickery on the wing. Leicester's defense never knew what hit him.
Leicester did equalize, though. Mavidi with the goal. But not enough to get them the draw. Their counterattacks, usually so dangerous, seemed a bit
Ooh!
stifled.
Yeah, that's Villa's midfield for you. They dictated the tempo, limited Leicester's chances to break. It was a tactical battle, and Villa came out on top. Shows how much they've matured as a team.
Okay, let's move on to a few other matches. Brighton, they managed a 1-1 draw against Arsenal. Sounds like a real battle.
Oh, it was back and forth, both sides showing a ton of resilience. Arsenal, they took the lead early, but Brighton didn't give up, fought back, earned that penalty, and Pedro slotted it home like a pro.
A draw against a team like Arsenal, it's a big point for Brighton. Shows they can hang with the best.
It does, and it just reinforces that idea that there are no easy matches in this league. Anyone can beat anyone.
Speaking of which, Brentford, they absolutely demolished Southampton. 5-0. Ouch.
That was a statement win for Brentford. Their attack was firing on all cylinders, pressing high, moving the ball quickly, creating chances. Mbemo, he was the star. 2 goals.
2 goals. And it must have been a constant threat. Southampton's defense had no answer for him.
None whatsoever. His movement was fantastic, always finding space, exploiting those gaps. Southampton, though, I mean, this loss is a huge blow. They're at the bottom of the table, and this performance, it doesn't inspire much confidence, does it?
Not really. They look disorganized, both defensively and offensively, like there wasn't a clear plan. And to concede 5 goals, that's got to hurt.
It does. It raises serious questions about their ability to stay up. They need to turn things around, and fast.
Okay, now for a match that sounds like it was an absolute thriller, Fulham versus Ipswich, 2-2 draw. But apparently the second half was a penalty fest.
Oh, yeah, it was wild. Both teams just going for it. Attack, attack, attack.
Yeah, right.
Leaving their defenses wide open. Fulham had most of the possession, but Ipswich were dangerous on the counter. That's how they earned their first penalty.
And then Jimenez, Fulham's hero, he steps up and converts not 1, but 2 penalties. Saves the day for his team.
Ice in his veins. The thing is, though, both those penalties were a result of Fulham's attacking pressure. They never let up, kept probing, looking for those weaknesses, and eventually they found them.
And Ipswich, they deserve credit too. Taking the lead twice, holding on for that point despite Fulham's pressure, they showed real resilience.
Absolutely. And for a team considered the underdog to come in and play with that kind of heart, it's impressive. They're not an easy team to beat, that's for sure.
All right, last match of match day 20. Wolves, unfortunately, they lost at home to Nottingham Forest. 3-0. What happened there?
Nottingham Forest, they were just so clinical. They sat back, absorbed the pressure, waited for their moment, then bang. Counterattack. Gibbs White, Wood, Owoni, all with well-taken goals. Wolves just couldn't break them down.
Yeah, they had all the possession, but no cutting edge. Their attack looked a bit toothless, wouldn't you say?
A bit, yeah. Their build-up play was slow, predictable. Forest's defense had no problem dealing with it. It was a frustrating match for Wolves. A reminder that possession doesn't always mean victory.
So there we have it. All 10 matches of match day 20. Full of surprises, drama, goals, you name it.
The Premier League at its best, really.
It really is.
Yeah.
Now, let's step back for a moment. Think about the bigger picture. What are some of the key takeaways from this match day? What does it tell us about the season as a whole? So much to unpack, so many storylines emerging. What are some of the big takeaways for you from this match day, but also looking at the season as a whole?
Well, it's definitely the unpredictability for me. This season, it's anyone's game. The usual suspects are being challenged.
Right, like who would have predicted Tottenham losing to Newcastle?
Exactly. And it wasn't a fluke. Newcastle, they're the real deal this season. Solid defensively, lethal on the counter.
It's like the whole league is evolving tactically. Teams are more disciplined, more organized. They're not just relying on individual brilliance anymore.
And that's what's making it so exciting. Any team can beat any team on their day. Look at the results. So
Yeah.
many upsets.
Let's talk about some of those individual performances, though. I mean, Haaland, 2 more goals for Man City. Is anyone going to stop this guy?
He's on fire, a natural goal scorer. But it's not just his finishing. It's his movement, his work rate. He's always involved.
And Foden? He's getting better and better. That goal against West Ham? Pure class.
He's a special talent. The vision, the touch, the confidence. And he's still so young. Scary to think how good he could become.
Okay, let's flip it. What about the teams who are struggling? Chelsea, another draw. They just can't seem to find that winning formula.
They're creating chances, but they're not clinical enough. Missing that killer instinct in front of goal. And defensively, they're making too many mistakes.
Yeah, that late goal they conceded against Crystal Palace, that sums it up. A momentary lapse in concentration, and it cost them.
Exactly. They need to tighten up at the back if they want to climb back up the table.
And then there's Everton. Another loss. No shots on target against Bournemouth. Relegation is a real possibility for them now.
It is. Their attack is just non-existent.
Yeah.
They can't create chances, and even when they do, they can't finish. Where's the spark gone?
It's tough to see them like this. They used to be such a force. Now they're just drifting, lacking confidence.
They need to find a way to turn things around, and quickly. Or they'll be playing championship football next season.
All right, let's look ahead the rest of the season. Predictions time. Who do you see winning it all?
Man City, they're still the favorites. Strong squad, great tactics, and of course, Haaland. But you never know.
Liverpool are still in the mix. Salah's in top form, and they can go on those incredible runs.
True. And don't forget about Arsenal. They've been a revelation this season. If they can keep this up, they could be right there at the end.
It's going to be a fascinating race to the finish line, and not just for the title. European spots, relegation battles, so much still to play for.
That's the beauty of the Premier League, isn't it? You just never know what's going to happen next.
And that's what keeps us coming back for more. So there you have it, our deep dive into Premier League Matchday 20. We've seen tactical masterclasses, shocking upsets, moments of individual brilliance.
It's been a privilege, as always, dissecting this beautiful game with you.
Until next time, keep watching, keep analyzing, keep enjoying the Premier League.